Do you feel like you're always getting caught in a situation where you're fighting multiple enemies at a time, but it seems to overwhelm you and you just fall apart? Well, you came to the right video. Today I'll be showing you how to effectively fight off multiple enemies with 4 key tips. So let's get into it. Hey, what's happening, Champion Squad? Welcome your beautiful faces back to the channel. Today, we are going to be learning how to get better when you're fighting multiple enemies at a time. I feel like this is something that I haven't addressed all too often, and I think this can help a lot of people struggling to come out of a sticky situation where it's a man down, maybe 1v2, 1v3, and just not understanding some key components that you need to make sure you have on lock to help you get better in these type of situations. So we elected to land Cascade Falls. Usually it's a pretty hot drop. I didn't know no one was going here because I was typing to send a message to Nebula, because we actually played this entire game not communicating with each other in terms of having a mic. So that's another key element that you guys are going to get surprised about, how well me and him play together with no mic. So we decided to rotate to Command Center, which was the closest gunshots that we heard. So my weapon loadout looks to be the R301 and Flatline. Have a blue armor, same with Nebula. Teammate, not so much, but we're looking decent as a squad right now, so definitely looking to take a fight. And this combo that I'm using, yes, it's a double AR setup where you don't have as much strafe speed, but the Flatline hipfire, make no mistake about it, close range, it just asserts dominance. So upon entering this first gunfight here, we are coming to third party them. I'm not sure exactly where they are until that scan goes off. We see a Gibby down low. He obviously hears us coming and he actually decides to challenge us. And I see him through the glass charging at me. So I decided to pre-fire the door. So he actually walks into some bullets. So that was lucky on my part. He then decides to bail, but Nebula was there for the cleanup, which was great. Now the Pathfinder out in front of me, I actually didn't see him. He caught me off guard, and what I love doing in a situation like this where I don't essentially know where someone is, but I know they're shooting at me, is I like to dance around, crouch around, look around, immediately try and locate this enemy. That's going to help you avoid taking some unnecessary damage without getting your back blown out. Was able to snap on Pathy, clean him up. Now here's where things get interesting, because I elected to go up the zip line. Dummy me, foolish of me, I thought the Gibby went up the rope. So I decided to go up the rope to try and chase this guy that we had low originally. Then Nebula goes down and I'm just clueless here. So I'm like, how is there people on him? I immediately drop from the rope. And what I do at the end of the rope is I love catching it and releasing. So that way you're not getting a full-on stun effect when you land and you're going to be sitting there for 2-3 seconds. That stun effect is brutal. And if someone's looking at you, you're toast. So that actually helped me out greatly there, getting a jump on Fuse, but unfortunately I don't get the best hipfire shots on the 301. And now here is going to be the first tip of the video: improving your shield swap speed. Yes, it's probably the most basic tip of the video, but guys, you need to be adjusting your cursor menu speed and try and increase it as you go. The faster you can get an armor swap, the more efficient it's going to be. And I'm talking about these split seconds, half of a second, 0.5. This matters. And just keep that in mind, whether that be on a death box or a shield on the ground, even if it's a lower swap, white, blue, anything you need, especially when you can't create some distance to get a heal off and this guy's already challenging you, a body swap, no matter the color, is the way to go. Trust me on that. So while we are rotating out of Command Center, we're just casually roaming around and we actually find some people. So we have another squad fight here that's going to take place, and I will catch you guys when it's done.
Hostile right here. Reloading. Enemy taken down.
So a pretty quick and clean squad wipe on this one, but notice how I first played it. This is going to be actually tip number 2, which guides us smoothly into it, is going to be cutting off angles. So when you're fighting a squad, whether that be man down or if it's a fair 3v3, you need to understand how the enemies are positioned, what kind of angles they have on you and your team, and then capitalize on it. You want to get better than what they have. So when I'm approaching the fight, I noticed a drone was coming at me, so I'm going to back up, create some distance, and what that's going to do is create bigger vision and create more angles for myself to help cover for my team as well. Not only for myself, but also for my team. And that's exactly what happened here. I was able to get some great damage off Horizon to help out my team to clean that up. And then I also picked up a beautiful one mag on the crypto, leaving it in a 3v1 situation. And from there, it's essentially push brainlessly. And you guys probably thought the action was over, but no. So right away, as soon as I find out that we're getting thirded, I'm immediately looking to deal some quick early damage. And what that's going to do is help block off at least one enemy to not get as aggressive on us. He's going to try and heal up. A lot of players have this mentality of, I need to be full health at all times, when in reality, sometimes not being full health, but being with your teammates, even though you're a little bit less on health, but double shooting with your teammate is key and the better decision to win the gunfight. So take advantage of this. If you can get some early, even if it's pepper damage, 30 to 40 damage, that's enough for someone to stop, take a few cells, then get back into the fight, and he's not going to be there for the next 10 seconds. Now, as soon as that scan goes off, this gives me a really clear understanding of where the enemies obviously are and how I should play the situation. I notice one's wide left here has some height, so what I'm looking to do is actually put a lot of pressure on this player. He's a very big threat. Not only he's the one that I'm able to shoot at, but he's going to be putting a lot of damage on my team if he's not taken care of or distracted. And then I improve my positioning to get a fair exchange with him. After that, I did get the better of the exchange, send the grapple over. Of course, she ports out, so I'm going to have to just take her port. And essentially, we are collapsing on the team. Now that they backed up, they're very low. We're taking advantage of this opening. We're capitalizing on the damage that we just did. It's a push and pull game, Apex. When you're pushing at the right time, it makes it so easy for yourself. And when you're pulling, when you're retreating at the right time, it also makes it very easy for yourself. So understanding that push-pull mentality and really nailing that down is going to make you a much better player. So we're actually rotating back to Cascade Falls to see if we can find anyone else there. And in this next gunfight, two things are going to be pretty cool if you guys haven't known about. Number one's going to be getting on top of the well with a zip line. If you guys didn't know about that, yes, you can make a zip line, get on top of the well, and there's no death timer up there, so you can stay up there as long as you want. You have great vision, but not really much help to the team. So usually I just go up there to see where people are, then I drop down and take the fight. I dropped on this cool secret window spots. A lot of these buildings in Storm Point, if you guys haven't known, you can peek through a lot of these windows. Take advantage of it. You can get many knocks with this. So I'll let this play out and I'll catch you guys when it's done.
Afar Nebula says, Bang 1.
So quickly before we get into it, I don't know where our teammate went. I think he went to look for a Kraber. He went on a journey of his own. So I end up dropping down to take the staircase up and try and put pressure on the doorways. And I immediately get ratted on down low by a Loba. So I hit her with a quick knee slide cancel strafe in the opposite direction. And what that's going to do is she's thinking my momentum's going up the staircase. So I'm going to fake it even more and then pull back. And that's going to interrupt her aim. And I decided to go with the hip fire, and actually worked out better than I thought here. I thought I wasn't going to get as much damage. Managed to clean her up, and this is exactly where I made the mistake. Instead of pushing around while I'm reloading, trying to get behind the enemies, I should have fell back to my teammate, because then the other two enemies after I got the knock on the Loba were focused on him. I couldn't do anything because I wasn't there. I see Bang. Luckily, she's one shot. And the third tip we're actually going to talk about is abusing your cover. So right here, I'm using my cover to, number one, get the reload off. That's key. And then I also use the cover sort of like baiting up, even though I am shooting with the flatty, and it's the worst possible gun to probably have in this situation. A shotgun would be perfect here. Maybe even wingman. But what I'm doing here is essentially peek shotting. Shooting a bit, then I'm going behind cover. And that's just going to keep things guessing in terms of where I am, when I'm going to be peeking, and try and randomize it. Especially when somebody has a shotgun and you're doing that, that's the best way to negate getting blasted for 100 damage.
Afar Nebula says. Octane vibing. Sultan D says. For real. LOL.
So me and Nebula are just casually rotating here, and we actually find a Caustic team, a full 3-man team up in this house. And to add to Caustic, it was actually a Rampart as well, so we knew from the get-go that this is going to be a fight where we have to take action immediately, otherwise nothing's going to happen. It's just going to be a stale poking fight. So I'll let it play out, and I'll catch you guys when it's done.
Attention, delivering care package.
Scanning the area. I love loot. Enemy taken down. Reloading. Healing my
Okay, so I know for sure some of you guys are probably questioning how the heck did the Octane not shoot at me at the end there? And we're going to get to that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. First things first, it is a supportive squad, so you know for sure they're not going to be getting aggressive unless they pick up a knock on you. And make sure you're pushing at a safe time too. When you're closing the gap on a team like this, you need to make sure that you're closing the gap in a safe fashion. So deal the damage before you close the gap and use your cover while you're pushing. And we find the Rampart out in the open. That was just, I mean, it is what it is there. There's nothing to comment about that. That's just an easy knock for us. Now it's a 2v2. If the Rampart was playing in the house, maybe different story. But the next tip we're going to get into is going to be positioning yourself for a 1v1. You need to make every gunfight a 1v1 fight. Possibly, maybe you can get away with a 1v2, but always for the most part, especially when you're going into a fresh 1v3, every single gunfight needs to be a 1v1. Here, it was 2 separate 1v1s. And what had happened was they both elected to go on roof together to try and capitalize on our positioning, which was a great play for them. I'm peeking inside. I did not expect them to do this. But as soon as I noticed, I climbed up to the roof and I noticed both of them there. Octane didn't see me. I shot like a dummy, so now he's going to know I'm here. So what I did to counteract that, instead of focusing Octane here, because he is sort of a big threat, he's closer to me, I am going to stay crouched on this head glitch. Head glitch is where they can see your upper chest and above, and I'm going to crouch right here on this little slant. So that way, number one, Caustic has a very hard time hitting me. And then also number two, I don't even think Octane was able to see me. And it actually worked out even better than I thought. I was able to take a fair 1v1 with a Caustic, and then boom, 1v1 with the Octane, and that's all she wrote. Nice little weapon swap. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as we're rotating here to the next fight, I will say we did conclude all of the 4 tips. However, I am going to be capitalizing and really breaking down these next gunfights, and definitely a must watch. These are some exciting clips. And the first clip is actually 2 teams right next to each other, just sitting in adjacent buildings, not fighting. Now, the best way to play a situation like this, if you get put into this, is you need to slowly work one of the squads and try and avoid getting sandwiched. So what I'm doing here is I'm just poking around through windows, seeing what I can deal. And now the other team is getting a little bit more invested, plus my teammate picked up a knock in the first building that we're in. So what I'm going to do is jump around back and hit the back door, because I know their main attention is going to be where their teammate got knocked from, and that's the front of the house. So they're not going to be expecting someone hitting the back that quickly. Picked up the Ash that was low, picked up the Wraith that was low, all while avoiding not being sandwiched by both teams. So that was great. So this team is actually not in the house anymore, and they are advancing their positioning to try and work towards zone and up that mountain. So what I'm going to do is take advantage of the positioning that they abandoned, which is going to be the house. Took the balcony, and was able to catch one off guard, and that's a beautiful one mag there. I noticed the Lobo was taking cells down low, so I'm immediately going to drop on her, get some surprising hipfire shots on her. That was pretty unexpected on my part, but I knew she was going to close the door right away and try and block the door on me and take it back. So in a situation like this, is you want to spam interact your key for the door. Whether you're on controller, mouse, and key, doesn't matter. Whatever your button is to open the door, you want to spam it, because that's going to wiggle the door back and forth, and it's going to make them nervous. And a lot of the times they'll get off of the door, or they'll just be a little gap for you to walk through. And that's exactly what happens here. So just an absolute brilliant play there. And you'll never believe it. Finally, his dreams came true. The Kraber has been
I could use that.
collected. He is now equipped with the best weapon in the game. Decides to take the gravity cannon.
Oh, that's... Oh, I'm down.
You cannot make this up. Oh gosh, this guy launched himself. So RIP Octane. He also left the game. I mean, why would he leave? I have no idea. We couldn't res him. There's no way we're getting banner. It's ring 4. It's gonna tick hard. So enough banter. Let's shift our attention to this last squad here, which we also have another 3-man. It's also another caustic 3-man here. They are bunkered down. They're playing their doors though. This team is a little bit more efficient in terms of locking down this building. So I noticed Caustic isn't in this first room. Nebula's forcing some pressure on the other side. I take the gas barrel so it can go off, and then I can make my way into this room. That was the game plan. Caustic beat me to the door, hit the little quick grapple out. We went to the roof, and I'm immediately looking to take a bat here, create as much distance as possible. Even if I lost height here, at least I'll get the bat off safely. Right now, we're just looking to get full health. Still trying to pressure this team from as much angles as possible. That first knock, again, a lot of these teams are like dominoes. When you get that first domino to fall, the rest of the team will go with it.
Scanning the area. Throwing stuff.
Nebula comes in huge with the knock on blood. Tried to go for the thirst. Caustic gets good shots on me. He actually jumps out the window, hit the grapple on him. I thought it was a goner there. Nebula saves the day. We team fire the Caustic together. Now it's a 2v1, and Wraith is on roof. Since I have my grapple, I'm immediately going to go up there. Use my cover here as a nice little head glitch. Get the better of the exchange. She phases out. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a GG. We finished off this game with 18 kills, just shy of a 4K, 3,900 damage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, a like rating is always appreciated. Thank you guys for spending a couple minutes every day with me. If you guys are new around here, don't forget to subscribe, join the Champion Squad for some more awesome content. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, this was Sultan D. I'm signing off. Peace.